On the day I was brought back to the Shen family, the false daughter Shen Yaoyao was in the living room practicing the piano. The moment she caught sight of me, her fingers trembled, and tears immediately cascaded down her cheeks. "Mom and Dad, do you truly not want me anymore?" Mrs. Shen rushed over to embrace her. "Yaoyao, don't cry. How could your mother ever forsake you?" Mr. Shen also approached, gently patting her back. "Do not entertain such thoughts. You will always be my daughter." My brother Shen Jinghuai shot me a glare, as if all this turmoil were my fault. "Yaoyao has been unwell lately. Do not provoke her." I stood at the doorway, a tattered suitcase in hand, observing the tender scene of this family of four embracing one another. It was somewhat amusing. Who would willingly join this household if not for the sake of keeping a promise? Here I was, the genuine daughter, standing outside like a mere delivery person, while my biological parents and brother consoled the interloper who had occupied my place for 18 years. I knocked on the doorframe. "May I come in, or should I wait outside until you finish your embrace?" Only then did Mrs. Shen seem to remember my existence, a flicker of embarrassment crossing her face. "Nian Nian, come in quickly. Don't just stand there." "Nian Nian." She even mispronounced my name. "I am Shen Ning." Perhaps after 18 years of calling Yao Yao, she found it difficult to adjust. "I am Shen Ning," I said, dragging my suitcase inside and calmly correcting her. Shen Yao Yao looked up, her tear-streaked face radiating an air of pitiful innocence. "Sister, I'm sorry, it's all my fault. I've taken your place." "It's all right. I found a corner to set down my suitcase. You've occupied it for 18 years. What difference does a moment make?" An unexpected silence enveloped the room. Shen Yaoyao's sobs caught in her throat, evidently unprepared for my bluntness. Shen Jinghuai frowned. "Shen Ning, how can you speak like that?" I regarded this unwelcome elder brother, AT-25. He was the executive president of the Shen Group, reputed for his ruthless efficiency, yet at this moment, he resembled a protective hen. "I speak the truth." I settled onto the sofa, which was remarkably soft, far more comfortable than the bed I had slept on at my adoptive parents' home. It is indeed a fact that she has occupied my position for 18 years. Or would you prefer me to say, "It's all right, sister, you may continue to occupy it"? "You." Shen Jinghuai was about to erupt, but was halted by Mr. Shen Mr. Shen cleared his throat. "Ning Ning has just returned. We all need time to adjust. Yao Yao, you should go back to your room and rest. Remember to take your medicine on time tonight." Shen Yao Yao bit her lower lip, casting a tearful glance in my direction before scampering upstairs. That silhouette appeared utterly frail. Yet, I distinctly observed the moment she turned, a smug smile gracing her lips. Her acting skills were commendable, but unfortunately, she had crossed paths with me. Dinner was bountiful, consisting of 10 dishes and a soup. However, all were rather bland, ostensibly to accommodate Shen Yaoyao's heart condition. I took a bite of the steamed fish, which was as tasteless as cotton. "Ning Ning, how are you faring over there?" Shen's mother inquired cautiously. Over there referred to my adoptive parents' home. I set down my chopsticks. "Haven't you conducted your investigations?" Once the DNA results emerged, it was evident they would have scrutinized my living conditions. Otherwise, they would not have arrived so promptly. "We merely wish to hear it from your own lips." Shen's father interjected. I smiled wryly. "My adoptive father is a gambler, and my adoptive mother is fond of playing mahjong. I've been working since I was 10, and by 15, I was supporting their son's education. You should be more aware of the specifics than I." Shen's mother's eyes glistened with tears. "I'm sorry, Ning Ning. It's all my fault. Let us focus on eating," Shen Jinghuai interrupted. "Such talk is detrimental to our appetites." I glanced at him. "Does my past embarrass you, brother?" "That is not what I meant." "Then what do you mean?" Suddenly, Shen Yaoyao clutched her chest, her face paling. I feel discomfort in my heart." The family immediately rushed to her side. "Quick, take your medicine," Shen's mother exclaimed. "Should we go to the hospital?" Shen's father asked. "I'll call the family doctor immediately," Shen Jinghuai declared. I continued to eat, my chopsticks unwavering. Her performance had notably deteriorated. A person genuinely suffering from a heart attack would not possess the strength to cry out, nor would they choose such an opportune moment to fall ill amidst my dispute with Shen Jinghuai. The timing was impeccable. The family doctor arrived promptly, assessed her, and concluded that it was merely an emotional reaction, advising rest. Shen's mother carried Shen Yaoyao upstairs, followed by Shen's father and Shen Jinghuai. The vast dining room was left deserted, with only me remaining. The maid, sisterly, attempted to clear the table, but I waved her off. "I have yet to finish." In truth, I was already full, but I wished to linger here, savoring the very first dinner at the home of my biological parents, even if it meant being alone. My phone vibrated. It was a message from my adoptive mother. "You wretched girl. Where's the money? Why hasn't he this month's allowance been transferred yet?" I promptly blocked her. From this day forth, I would no longer provide a cent to anyone. My room was located at the far end of the third floor, a converted storage space. Upon pushing open the door, I was taken aback. It was less than 20 square meters, furnished with a single bed, a simple wardrobe, and a desk, nothing more. The wall paint was peeling, and the window faced the garbage disposal area of the backyard, emitting a faint odor. As I passed by Shen Yaoyao's room, the door was ajar, revealing a pink princess bed, a wall full of closets, and a small balcony overflowing with flowers. The contrast was striking. Sisterly stood at the door. "Miss, Madam said to have you stay here for now. We'll arrange a better room for you in a few days." I smiled. "No need to change. This is quite nice and quiet." Sister Lee hesitated, ultimately saying nothing as she departed. I closed the door and opened my suitcase. Inside were few clothes but plenty of books and notebooks. At the top lay my college entrance examination report, ranking among the top 10 in the province. This was a result I had earned through sheer determination. My adoptive parents had never contributed a penny towards my tutoring. I had to rely solely on my own efforts. I rose at 4 in the morning to study and didn't sleep until midnight, working in a restaurant on weekends to earn my living expenses. Thus, I gained admission to a university. As far as I knew, Shen Yaoyao had spent millions on tutoring yet only managed to secure a spot in a second-tier university. It was truly ironic. At 10 o'clock that night, I went downstairs to pour some water and overheard voices coming from the study. Ningning's personality is too aloof. I worry she won't get along with Yaoyao. Shen's mother expressed her concern. Yaoyao's heart condition can't handle stress. Why not have Ningning board at school? Shen's father suggested. I stood outside, listening to my biological parents and brother deliberating on how to expel me from the house, citing that I might agitate the fragile heart of the fake daughter. It was utterly ludicrous. I pushed the door open. "No need to discuss. I will move out on my own." All three turned simultaneously, their expressions varying. Shen's mother, flustered, exclaimed, "Ning Ning, you've misunderstood. That wasn't our intention." "I have not misunderstood," I interrupted. "You are concerned that I might exacerbate Yaoyao's condition, hence the suggestion for me to board at school." "This is quite reasonable," I concur. Shen's father frowned. "Ning Ning, are you upset?" "I am not," I replied flatly. "I merely believe your proposal is sound. As an outsider, I truly should not disrupt your family of 4. "Outsider?" Shen's mother snapped. "You are my biological daughter." "Oh," I nodded. "Then why didn't you suggest that Yaoyao board at school to avoid upsetting me?" Shen's mother was rendered speechless. Shen Jinghuai, impatient, chimed in. "Ning Ning, can you not be so unreasonable? Yaoyao's health is fragile. Can't you accommodate her?" I looked at him. "Brother, my adoptive father is a gambler. Once, in a fit of desperation, he held a knife to my neck, forcing me to borrow money from loan sharks. At that time, I was unwell, running a fever. Do you think anyone accommodated me?" Shen Jinghuai was momentarily at a loss for words. I continued, "No one ever accommodated me." Thus, I learned an essential truth. No one in this world is obligated to accommodate anyone else. Yaoyao's health is her own concern. It does not pertain to me. How can you be so cold-hearted? Shen Jinghuai slammed the table. "Cold-hearted?" I laughed. "Your sister has occupied my place for 18 years, and I merely speak a truth. Yet I am deemed cold-hearted. What about you? The biological daughter returns home, and you conspire to expel her. What does that make you?" The study fell into silence. I turned to leave. "Rest assured, I will move out tomorrow, so I won't be an eyesore to you." The following morning, I began to pack my belongings in preparation for my departure. Shen Yaoyao stood at my door, clad in a pink pajamas, her expression innocent. "Sister, are you leaving? What concern is that of yours?" I continued packing. "Sister." She stepped inside, her voice soft. "You don't have to pretend to be so strong. It must hurt to be rejected by your biological parents." I paused my actions and turned to face her. She continued, "Last night, Mom, Dad, and Brother discussed having you move out. You must be quite heartbroken, right? It's okay, you can cry it out. Did you eavesdrop?" I asked. She smiled sweetly. "I merely passed by." "Sister, do you know why they don't love you?" I looked at her with interest. "Why?" "Because I have lived in this home for 18 years. My photos adorn the walls, my trophies fill the cabinets, and they remember every birthday of mine." "And you?" She paused, "have nothing. So?" She leaned closer, lowering her voice. There is no place for you in this family. Even if you are real, you are still superfluous. I smiled. So she revealed her true colors so quickly. Yao Yao, I whispered, do you know what DNA is? She looked momentarily startled. DNA is proof of blood relation. No matter how many years you have lived in this home, no matter how many of your photos are on the walls, you are still a fake. As for me, I pointed to myself, I need do nothing. I am simply real. Her expression shifted. And who told you I'm moving out? I lifted my suitcase. I'm just going to school to fetch a few things. This is my home. Why would I leave? I dragged my suitcase downstairs, just as I encountered Shen Jinghuai heading out. Noticing my suitcase, he frowned. Where are you going? To school, I replied tersely. I'll take you. No need. I said I'll take you. His tone was firm. I shrugged, letting him have his way. In the car, he remained silent, and I had no desire to speak. As we neared the school, he suddenly said, don't take last night to heart. Oh. Mom and Dad don't dislike you. It's just that Yao Yao's health is genuinely poor and needs care. Oh. Can you stop with the O? I turned to him. What would you like me to say? That it's all right, brother, I understand. Will you take good care of Sister Yao Yao? He rubbed his forehead in agitation. Can't you be a little more normal? What does normal mean? Is it about being like Yao Yao? Able to cry and feign illness at any moment? Yao Yao isn't pretending. I rolled my eyes internally. Do you even have an inkling about whether she is or isn't? Shen Jinghuai, are you genuinely foolish or merely pretending to be so? Can someone experiencing a heart attack precisely control the timing, while also weeping like a rain-soaked pear blossom? Do you truly think that is plausible? He gripped the steering wheel tightly. You don't understand Yao Yao at all. I indeed don't understand, I replied, stepping out of the car. But I do comprehend what a genuine heart condition entails. My adoptive mother's sister suffered from a heart ailment. During an episode, her complexion turned ashen, rendering her unable to speak. Nothing like Yao Yao, who can wail and lament. With a resounding thud, I slammed the car door shut. Shen Jinghuai remained seated in the vehicle for quite some time, not making a move. I went to school primarily to complete my enrollment procedures. The admission letter from a university was a source of pride for me. After finalizing the paperwork, I made a trip to the bank. My account held 200,000, a sum I had saved through years of labor, along with some royalties. Yes, I am also an online writer, using the pen name 13th Month, crafting narratives that resonate with the trials of reality. My readers often remark on the raw authenticity of my writing, which stirs their hearts. Little do they know, those stories are drawn from my own life experiences. Just as I was preparing to leave, the bank manager suddenly called out to me. Miss Shen, you have a new card, a supplementary card issued by Mr. Shen. Mr. Shen? Father Shen? I accepted the black gold card, its limit boasting an 8-digit figure. It is indeed wonderful to possess wealth. However, I had no intention of using it. Upon returning to the Shen residence, it was just in time for lunch. At the dining table, Shen Yao Yao sat beside Mother Shen. The two engaged in an intimate conversation. Upon noticing me, Shen Yao Yao flashed a sweet smile. Sister, you're back. Come join us for a meal. I took a seat, only to discover my spot was at the far corner, distance from them. Moreover, the utensils before me were of a different quality. They used fine bone china, while I was provided with ordinary ceramic. Such details reveal true sentiments. Ning Ning. Mother Shen suddenly spoke up. Next week is Yao Yao's birthday, and we're planning to hold a birthday banquet. You should join us. But my birthday is also next week, I reminded them. An awkward silence enveloped the air. Indeed, Shen Yao Yao and I share the same birthday. A fact that highlights the hospital mix-up years ago. Mother Shen blushed slightly. Then let us celebrate together. No need, Shen Yao Yao thoughtfully interjected. Sister has just returned. She must be unaccustomed to such gatherings. It would be better to hold a separate celebration for me. Our family can celebrate Sister's birthday quietly. The translation is clear. Such an important occasion as a birthday banquet can only be for me, Shen Yao Yao. You, Shen Ning, are unworthy. Father Shen nodded in agreement. Yao Yao is right. Ning Ning has just returned. It is indeed inappropriate for her to be too ostentatious. Shen Jinghuai concurred. Ning Ning likely doesn't enjoy such occasions anyway. I set down my chopsticks. You all are quite amusing. What? Mother Shen asked, perplexed. Yao Yao and I share the same birthday. You are throwing her a grand celebration, inviting all the city's elite, ensuring everyone knows she is the precious daughter of the Shen family. And what about me? Just a casual acknowledgement at home suffices? I stood up, making it abundantly clear to all that the Shen family only recognizes Shen Yaoyao as their sole daughter. Even though I, Shen Ning, am biologically related, I remain unacknowledged. You're overthinking it. That is not our intention, Father Shen attempted to explain. That is precisely the intention, I interrupted him. But it's of no consequence. I have no desire to attend your birthday banquet. I turned to ascend the stairs. Behind me, I heard Shen Yaoyao's sobs. It's all my fault. I won't hold it anymore. Let us celebrate for sister instead. Then came a chorus of comforting voices. Such a familiar script. That night, Mother Shen knocked on my door. Ning Ning, may I come in? I was reading, not lifting my head.
Come in.
She entered, holding a bowl of soup. It's freshly made. Please have a taste. I did not accept it. I'm not hungry. She placed the soup on the table and sat at the bedside. Ning Ning, I understand that you harbor resentment. I do not. Please allow me to finish, she sighed. Yaoyao's health is genuinely fragile. She was born with congenital heart disease, and the doctors said she might not live past 20. I looked up at her. Thus, over the years, we have doted on her, wishing to bring her as much joy as possible in her limited time. Mother Shen's eyes glistened with tears. Ning Ning, can you understand? I gazed at her, my expression unyielding. So what? So, could you perhaps make some concessions for her? I smiled, Mother. May I pose a question?
What is it?
If I also had congenital heart disease, would you allow Yaoyao to yield to me? Mother Shen was momentarily speechless. You wouldn't, I answered for her. Because in your heart, Yaoyao is your daughter of 18 years, while I am merely a stranger by blood. That is not true. I closed my book. Mother, please leave. I am tired. Mother Shen appeared as though she wished to say more, but ultimately said nothing, exiting with the untouched bowl of soup. That night, I heard the sound of piano playing next door. It was Shen Yaoyao practicing playing for Elise, albeit incorrectly. The next morning at the breakfast table, Shen Yaoyao looked exhausted. I practiced the piano too late last night, and didn't he sleep well? Mother Shen expressed concern. Don't overexert yourself. Your health is paramount. Shen Jinghuai, serve her some food. Eat more. You need to replenish your energy. I sipped my porridge in silence. Sister, Shen Yaoyao suddenly turned to me. You can play the piano, right? Was this her way of provoking me, knowing I heard her last night? I can play a little, I replied nonchalantly. That's wonderful. She clapped her hands excitedly. Sister, could you teach me? There are a few parts one can never get right. Mother Shen immediately interjected. Ning Ning, if you have some time, please teach Yaoyao. I set down my bowl. I'm not free. An awkward silence fell over the table. Shen Jinghuai frowned. What harm would it do to teach her a little? It would waste my time. I stood up. Her fundamental skills are all incorrect. I have no interest in starting from scratch. How do you know my fundamentals are incorrect? Shen Yaoyao challenged. I shot her a glance. In the third measure of Elise, your fingering is wrong. In the seventh measure, the rhythm is off. In the 11th measure, you failed to control the dynamics. Do you need me to continue? Shen Yaoyao's face paled. I had only listened once last night, yet I remembered all her mistakes. That is my gift. 3 days before the birthday, the household began bustling with activity. Decorations, flowers, gowns, everything was prepared for Shen Yaoyao. I felt like a ghost. No one asked me what I needed. It was rather peaceful. That afternoon, while I was reading in my room, Shen Yaoyao pushed the door open. She held a box in her hands. Sister, this is a birthday gift I prepared for you. I did not accept it. No need. Sister, don't be like that. She sat on my bed. I genuinely want to get along well with you. Is that so? Of course. She opened the box, revealing a necklace. This is my favorite necklace. I'm giving it to you. I glanced at it. A classic piece from a luxury brand, priced at around 50,000. For the Shen family, it was not significant. However, her claim that it was her favorite made it intriguing. I don't want it. I resumed my reading. Sister. She suddenly grasped my hand. I know you hate me for taking your place. But sister, this isn't my fault. I am also a victim. I wish I had my biological parents too. As she spoke, tears streamed down her face. I withdrew my hand. Who are you performing for? She cried even harder. I'm not acting. Sister, do you know? Every time Mom and Dad call me Yaoyao, I think how wonderful it would be if I were their biological daughter. But I'm not. I will never be. The door swung open suddenly, and Mother Shen stood at the entrance. Yaoyao, why are you crying? A perfect timing. Shen Yaoyao threw herself into Mother Shen's arms.
Mom.
Sister, doesn't he want my gift? Is it because I'm not worthy of giving her presents? Mother Shen shot me a glare. Ning ning. Yao Yao kindly brought you a gift. How could you behave in such a manner? I closed my book and replied languidly. Firstly, I did not request her to bring it. Secondly, I possess the right to decline. Thirdly, whether she cries or not is of no concern to me. You. Mother Shen trembled with fury. How can you be so cold-hearted and unfeeling? The term cold-hearted was one I had heard for the second time today. Mother, I stood up. Have you ever considered why Yao Yao chose to cry precisely when you arrived? What do you mean? It means she is putting on an act. I walked towards the door. She knew what time you would come to my room, so she came early to deliver a gift, and then cried just as you entered. The intention was to make you believe that I was bullying her. Mother Shen was incredulous. Yao Yao is not that kind of person. Whether she is or not, you may judge for yourself. I pushed past them. Excuse me, I need to leave. As I reached the staircase, I turned back and saw Shen Yao Yao nestled in Mother Shen's embrace, casting a triumphant smile in my direction. I smiled back. Such petty tricks were all too familiar to me. On the eve of my birthday, I received a package. It contained the class schedule and dormitory arrangements sent in advance by university. I had applied for early move-in and I would be able to relocate next week. Perfectly timed, as it would spare me from being an eyesore in this home. That evening, a multitude of guests arrived at the Shen residence. All relatives gathered for the birthday banquet tomorrow. Everyone surrounded Shen Yao Yao, showering her with compliments about her beauty and thoughtfulness. No one paid attention to me in the corner until an elderly woman approached. Are you Ning Ning? I looked up to see the matriarch of the Shen family, Shen Fu's mother. Grandma. I stood up. She scrutinized me, her gaze critical. You do resemble a member of the Shen family. Merely resembling a member of a Shen family did not equate to being one. Her phrasing was subtle. I've heard you've endured quite a bit of hardship outside. It's not too bad. Not too bad? She scoffed. I've heard about your adoptive parents. What sort of people are they? A child raised in such an environment can hardly amount to much. I met her gaze calmly. You are right, Grandma. I indeed have not achieved much. She was momentarily taken aback, probably not expecting my response. Unlike Yao Yao, I continued, who has been treasured since childhood, excelling in piano and dance. Oh. Which university did she get into again? The old woman's expression shifted. Shen Yao Yao had been admitted to a second-tier university, a disgrace to the Shen family. Although I may not have accomplished much, I was fortunate enough to gain admission to a university. The top A university, have you heard of it? The elderly woman's face turned a shade of green with anger. You. Don't be angry, Grandma. Yao Yao interjected, appearing just in time to support the old lady. Sister, didn't he mean it? Yao Yao still knew how to be considerate. The old lady patted her hand, shot me a glare, and turned to leave. Shen Yao Yao looked at me. Sister, why do you have to provoke Grandma? I merely spoke the truth. But, Yao Yao, I interrupted, are you not tired? What? Pretending to be a good girl for 18 years, is that not exhausting? I leaned closer. I know what you truly are. Her expression shifted slightly. What are you talking about, sister? I don't understand. Not understanding is for the best. I turned and left. On the day of my birthday, the Shen villa was adorned with vibrant decorations. Early in the morning, makeup artists and stylists arrived, all bustling around Shen Yao Yao. I was in my room packing, preparing to move to school. Mother Shen knocked and entered. Ning Ning, aren't you going to prepare? Prepare for what? Today is the birthday banquet. I looked up at her. Didn't you say I wouldn't need to attend? It's not that you can't attend, it's just a bit awkward. You can stay upstairs and come down for food if you get hungry. Oh, so you want me to hide upstairs and not appear before the guests. I understand. Mother Shen sighed in relief and turned to leave. Mother, I called after her. Have you ever considered that if the switch hadn't happened back then, it would be me in a gown receiving everyone's blessings now? She stiffened. And Yao Yao would be in some small county, worrying about tuition fees. Ning Ning, I don't intend to steal her birthday banquet. I smiled. I merely wish for you to understand that fate has its peculiarities. Mother Shen hurriedly departed. At 7 in the evening, the guests began to arrive. I stood by the window on the 3rd floor, observing the bustling scene below. All the prominent figures of South City were present. Shen Yao Yao, dressed in a custom gown, accepted everyone's well wishes like a princess. Shen Fu delivered a speech, proclaiming her as the most cherished daughter of the Shen family. Shen Jinghuai gifted her a sports car, while Mother Shen presented her with a set of jewelry. For Shen Yao Yao, her 18th birthday, a coming-of-age ceremony, was perfect, akin to a fairy tale. Meanwhile, I recalled my last birthday, spent in the back kitchen of a restaurant working. The owner, seeing my plight, had given me a stale little cake. I took out my phone, logged into my account on 13 months, and posted a status. Today is my birthday, wishing myself a happy birthday. Within seconds, comments flooded in. Happy birthday to the great 13 months. When will the new story be released? Happy birthday.
Always supporting you.
I smiled.
See.
There are still those who remember my birthday, even if they do not know who I am. As I was scrolling through the comments, the door swung open. Shen Jinghui entered with a small cake. Happy birthday. I looked at him in surprise. He seemed somewhat uneasy. Don't misunderstand, it's from Mom. The cake was small, inscribed with happy birthday, not even bearing my name. Thank you, I accepted the cake. He stood there, not leaving. Aren't you angry? Angry about what? Downstairs is Yao Yao's stage. What does it have to do with me? I opened the cake box, not that I coveted it. He frowned. Can't you act a bit more normally? I retorted, crying and throwing a fit to attend a birthday banquet is normal? He was momentarily at a loss for words. Shen Jinghui, I looked up at him. Do you know why I got into a university?
Why?
Because I want to rely on myself. I took a bite of the cake, which was quite sweet. I don't need charity from the Shen family, nor do I need your sympathy. And certainly not your condescension. I have hands, feet, and a brain. I can carve out my own path. He stared at me, stunned. So, do not look at me with the eyes of a pitying onlooker. I smiled. I, Shen Ning, am not pitiable. After a prolonged silence, he finally spoke. Do you hate us? I shook my head. Hate requires an emotional basis, and we have none. His expression shifted, and he turned to leave. As he reached the door, he paused. Shen Ning, do you know? You are far too rational. Rational to the point of not resembling an 18-year-old girl. I gazed out the window. Since I was 10, I have not been a girl. At 10, my adoptive father first brought home gamblers, lost, and pushed me out to serve drinks. From that moment, I understood that I must be rational. I must be strong. Because no one would protect me. After Shen Jinghui left, I finished the small cake by myself. It was very sweet, overly so. The music from downstairs continued until deep into the night. The next day, I moved to a university. When I left, the house was only occupied by the maid. Shen Fu, Mother Shen, and Shen Yaoyao had gone to the hospital, claiming she was unwell from excitement the previous night. Shen Jinghui was at the company. It was for the best, saving me the trouble of farewells. The dormitory was a 4-person room, and I was the first to arrive. After settling in, I strolled around the library. The library at a university is vast, housing millions of volumes. I found a corner to sit down and took out my laptop to begin writing a new story. This time, I wished to craft a happy ending. Though reality may not hold one, at least in words, there could be. As evening fell, my phone rang. It was Mother Shen. Ning Ning, where have you gone? Why aren't you at home? I've moved to school.
What?
Why didn't you inform us? Would you have cared if I had? There was silence on the other end. Please take good care of Yao Yao. I am doing well. After ending the call, I resumed my writing. Upon returning to the dormitory in the evening, my roommates had already arrived. 3 girls, all exceedingly amiable. One of them paused momentarily upon seeing me. Aren't you the daughter of the Shen family? I anticipated her question. The news about the Shen family reclaiming their biological daughter had circulated widely. Then why are you living on campus? Another roommate inquired with curiosity. I find it uncomfortable at home, I replied succinctly. They did not press further and shifted the conversation to another topic. Lying on my bed, I listened to their chatter, feeling an unfamiliar sense of ease. Here, I was merely Shen Ning, a freshman at a university, not anyone's biological daughter, nor a substitute for anyone. On the 12th of September, we commenced military training for freshmen. A university's training program is notorious for its rigor, requiring us to travel to an outdoor military base for a duration of 2 weeks. The day before our departure, Mother Shen unexpectedly visited me at school, laden with numerous bags. Ning Ning, with military training starting tomorrow, I've prepared some essentials for you, she said, offering sunscreen, insect repellent, common medications, and snacks. Everything one might need. Thank you, I accepted the items. Her eyes held concern. The weather is quite hot and you're not in the best of health. If you find it unbearable, do take a leave. Since childhood, I had always borne my illnesses alone. I was not in poor health. Yao Yao. Mother Shen hesitated. What happened to her? I asked. Her school also has military training, but the doctor advised against it due to her heart condition. So, we arranged an exemption for her. I nodded. Oh. Ning Ning. Why don't you get an exemption as well? She suggested. No need, I interrupted. I am perfectly fine. Mother Shen seemed to want to say more but ultimately sighed. Just take care of yourself. The following morning, the bus arrived to transport us to the military training base. On the way, I received a message from Shen Yaoyao. Sister? I heard you're going to military training. Be careful of heatstroke in this scorching weather. Accompanying the message was a photo of her enjoying air conditioning and watermelon at home. I chose not to respond. Upon arrival at the base, we were assigned dormitories, 8 people per room, with bunk beds, no air conditioning, only a ceiling fan. The conditions were indeed harsh. Yet in comparison to my stay with my foster parents, this felt like paradise. On the first day of training, we stood at attention under the blazing sun, with temperatures approaching 40 degrees Celsius. Half an hour in, someone collapsed. The instructor allowed her to rest and then asked, "Is there anyone else who can't hold out?" Silence ensued. "Very well, continue standing." Sweat poured down like rain, soaking my clothes. A girl nearby whispered, "I really envy those who got exemptions." I remained silent. In truth, I was aware that Mother Shen had attempted to secure an exemption for me, but was unsuccessful. After all, I was not Shen Yaoyao. That evening, while charging my phone, I noticed messages in the family group chat. Mother Shen, Yao Yao practiced piano at home today and is improving remarkably. Father Shen, my precious daughter is truly wonderful. Shen Jinghuai, Yao Yao, your brother bought you new sheet music. Shen Yao Yao, thank you, Dad, Mom, and brother. I love you all. Not a single person inquired about my military training experience. I turned off my phone. On the 13th day of training, which coincided with the Mid-Autumn Festival, the base distributed mooncakes to everyone, claiming it was a festive benefit. In the evening, the instructor organized a gathering on the playground to appreciate the moon. Today is the Mid-Autumn Festival. Everyone can make a call home, the instructor announced. My classmates eagerly retrieved their phones. Hello, Mom. I'm at military training. It's going quite well. Dad, I received the mooncake. Thank you. Brother, what are you all eating at home? Save me some goodies. I sat in a corner, gazing at the full moon. My phone vibrated. It was a message from the Shen family group. Upon opening it, I saw a photo, a table laden with dishes, with Father Shen, Mother Shen, Shen Jinghuai, and Shen Yao Yao, all 4 of them raising their glasses, sharing joyful smiles. Mother Shen captioned it, Happy Mid-Autumn Festival, wishing for reunion and happiness. Reunion and happiness. How ironic. I turned off my phone and took a bite of the mooncake. It was 5-nut flavor, which I despised the most. Noticing I was alone, a roommate approached. Shen Ning, why aren't you making a call? There's no one to call. Aren't you the heiress of the Shen family? Perhaps. I replied with a smile, yet their reunion and happiness did not include me. The roommate hesitated before offering me half of her lotus seed mooncake. Mine is lotus seed. Want exchange? I accepted it. Thank you. That night, I lay awake, not because I missed home, but because I suddenly realized I truly had no home. My foster parents' place was not home, nor was the Shen residence. I was like the moon in the sky, appearing bright, but inherently cold. The next day during training, I collapsed. A night without sleep had led to low blood sugar. I awoke in the infirmary. The instructor stood by my bedside. What happened? Did you not eat yesterday? I did. Then how could you have low blood sugar? I remained silent. The instructor sighed. Is there something going on at home? I have no home, I replied. He was taken aback, then patted my shoulder. Rest for a day. Rejoin the group tomorrow. Lying in the infirmary, I received a message from my roommate. How are you? I heard you fainted. I'm fine, just need some rest. Does your family know?
No.
Should I notify them? No need. Even if they knew, they wouldn't come. Shen Yao Yao mentioned that they were taking her to the hospital for follow-up today, and the entire family was accompanying her. Who would care about my well-being? On the 15th day of military training, Shen Jinghuai suddenly appeared at the base. Dressed in a suit, he stood out conspicuously among the sea of camouflage uniforms. What brings you here? I asked while practicing shooting. To see you, he replied, handing me a bottle of water. I don't need it. Shen Ning, he frowned. On Mid-Autumn Festival, your family of 4 had a wonderful reunion. That's great. I continued to aim. It wasn't he intentional to exclude you. Yao Yao said you were in training and didn't he want to disturb you?
Bang.
I pulled the trigger, hitting the bullseye. Oh, how considerate of her. I set down the gun. Is there anything else? Mom and Dad asked me to bring you something. He gestured to a large bag beside him. I glanced over. I don't need it. Shen Ning. He sounded slightly irritated. Can you stop being so stubborn? I am not being stubborn. I turned to face him. Shen Jinghuai, do you know what is the most ridiculous thing?
What?
You all clearly don't care about me but still pretend to. Why bother? His expression changed. Who said we don't care about you? My absence in the family photo during the Mid-Autumn Festival, the lack of my presence at the birthday banquet, and my invisibility in the family chat. I enumerated them all. Does that signify care? He fell silent. I resume my training, go back. Don't disturb me. He lingered for a long moment before leaving without uttering another word. The large bag remained behind. I didn't even glance at it. That evening, Shen Yao messaged me. Sister, brother said he went to see you. Are you okay? What does it matter to you? Sister, I genuinely care about you. On Mid-Autumn Festival, I intended to invite you back, but I thought you were suffering through military training.
So I didn't want to bother you. Oh.
Sister, are you upset? I could not be bothered to reply. Yet she continued. Sister, actually, Mom and Dad miss you a lot. Mom made your favorite sweet and sour ribs that day and saved a portion just for you.
Sister?
Sister? Why are you ignoring me? I promptly blocked her. On the last day of military training, parents were allowed to come and pick up their children. The parking lot was filled with luxury cars, parents holding flowers and gifts, waiting for their children. I grasped my bag, preparing to take the bus back to school. Shen Ning. I turned to see Mother Shen standing beside a Bentley. Mom is here to pick you up, she said, smiling as she approached. I hesitated. Aren't you supposed to accompany Yao Yao for her follow-up? Her expression turned somewhat awkward. The follow-up has been rescheduled for tomorrow.
Oh.
You changed the appointment just to pick me up? I was skeptical. Indeed. Once in the car, I spotted Shen Yao. She sat in the back seat. Her expression one of discontent. Mom, didn't we agree to go to the mall? First, we need to pick up your sister, replied Mother Shen, her tone somewhat stern. But Yao. Mother Shen interrupted. Shen Yao pouted and fell silent. So, I was merely an afterthought, a mere convenience on their way. I leaned against the window and closed my eyes. Sister, Shen Yao suddenly spoke up, you've gotten tanned. I ignored her. But it's all right. I have some whitening serum at home that you can use when we get back. No need. Oh, come on, don't be so modest, she said with a sweet smile. We're family. Those words, uttered from her lips, dripped with irony. Upon arriving at school, I exited the car and walked away. Mother Shen called after me. Ning, come home for dinner tonight. Your father says he misses you. Not coming. I didn't wait for her to finish, striding directly through the school gates. Behind me, Shen Yao's voice trailed. Mom, it seems sister doesn't like us. Indeed, I harbored a deep aversion. I despised your hypocrisy, your bias, and especially the way you treated me as if I were a fool. The day we returned to school after military training, I received a package. The sender was listed as Shen Yao. Upon opening it, I found a voice recorder along with a note. Sister, give this a listen. You'll enjoy it. I pressed the play button. Shen Yao's voice filled the air. Mom and Dad are so foolish. They still haven't realized I'm just acting. That Shen Ning pretends to be so virtuous. She only wants money. Once I marry into a wealthy family, the first thing I'll do is kick her out of the Shen household. A heart condition? I'm perfectly fine. I'm just acting for their sake. I was taken aback. This was undeniably Shen Yao's voice, but why would she send this to me? Just then, my phone rang. It was an unfamiliar number. Miss Shen. Did you listen to the recording?
Who are you?
Just a good Samaritan. Why did you send me something? Because I couldn't bear to watch any longer, she replied. Shen Yao is utterly repugnant. She speaks ill of you everywhere, calling you a country bumpkin unworthy of the Shen family. So I recorded her when she was drunk, and she spilled everything. I fell silent for a moment, then asked, what do you want? I want nothing. I just can't stand her. She's such a fraud. Yet so arrogant. After hanging up, I stared at the voice recorder. This was an opportunity, yet I did not act immediately. On the weekend, Mother Shen called, inviting me home for dinner. Ning, we haven't seen you in ages. Your father, and I miss you. After some contemplation, I agreed. It was time to reveal the truth. When I arrived home, the family was gathered. Upon seeing me, Shen Yao beamed. Sister, you're here. At the dinner table, the atmosphere was relatively harmonious until Father Shen suddenly announced, Ning, we've discussed it and want to set up an education fund for both you and Yao. Mother Shen added, 5 million each, for your future studies or entrepreneurship. Shen Yao immediately exclaimed, thank you, Mom and Dad. I set down my chopsticks. No need to give me anything. Why not? Father Shen frowned. Because I don't care for a mere 5 million. I then produced the voice recorder. I believe you should listen to this first. I press play. Shen Yaoyao's voice echoed through the dining room. Mom and Dad are so foolish. They still haven't realized I'm just acting. That Shen Ning pretends to be so virtuous. She only wants money. A heart condition? I'm perfectly fine. Shen Yaoyao's face drained of color in an instant. She lunged for the recorder, exclaiming, "That's fake. That's not me." I dodged her grasp. "Whether it's you or not, everyone can tell." Mother Shen looked at Shen Yaoyao in disbelief. "Yaoyao, is this true?" "Mom, I really didn't mean to." Shen Yaoyao's tears began to flow. "What do you mean you didn't mean to?" Father Shen's expression darkened. Shen Jinghuai stood up. "Shen Yaoyao, have you been deceiving us all along?" "Brother." Father Shen slammed the table. "You need to clarify, is your heart condition real or fake?" Shen Yaoyao bit her lip, remaining silent.
Speak.
"Yes, it's fake," she muttered, her voice barely audible. The entire dining room fell into a profound silence. Mother Shen clutched her chest, swaying. "Have we been deceived all these years?"
Mom.
"I truly didn't mean it." Shen Yaoyao knelt, wailing, "I was just so scared of losing you." "So you pretended to be ill? For us to overlook Ning Ning, because of your condition?" Shen Jinghuai scoffed. Shen Yaoyao cried out in anguish, "I was wrong. I was truly wrong." I stood up. "I'm full." "Ning Ning, wait," Father Shen called after me. "Is there something else?" He looked at me, a hint of guilt in his eyes.
I am sorry.
"It was your father and mother who were wrong." "Yes, you were wrong," I replied calmly, "but that has nothing to do with me." "What do you mean?" I glanced at the kneeling Shen Yaoyao. "You loved her for 18 years. Being deceived is your own fault. As for me, I have no desire to involve myself in your family matters." With that, I turned and left. Behind me, I could hear Shen Yaoyao's sobs, Mother Shen's sighs, and Father Shen's shouts. What a commotion. Thankfully, this turmoil was of no concern to me. The next day, Shen Jinghuai sought me out at school. "Shen Yaoyao has moved out," he said.
Oh.
"Mom and Dad want to bring you home."
Not going.
"Shen Ning." He gazed at me. "Yaoyao is gone. Are you not satisfied?" I smiled. "Shen Jinghuai, do you still not comprehend?" "Comprehend? What?" "The issue is not Shen Yaoyao. It is you." I looked at him. "You chose to believe a counterfeit daughter for 18 years, selectively ignoring your biological daughter. Even if Shen Yaoyao has left, do you genuinely think you will treat me better?" He was rendered speechless. "Stop deceiving yourself. You drove her away not because she harmed me, but because she deceived you."
No, it's not like that.
"Yes, it is." I interrupted him. "If she hadn't pretended to be ill, merely disliked me, would you have cast her out?" He fell silent. "See, you know the answer yourself." I took a few steps forward, then turned back. "Tell Father and Mother Shen that I will not return. That house has never had a place for me." After Shen Yaoyao's departure, the Shen family began to compensate me fervently. Mother Shen texted me daily, inquiring about my well-being. Father Shen deposited substantial sums into my account, often in the millions. Shen Jinghuai went to the extreme of purchasing an apartment near my school, claiming it was for me to live in. I declined all offers. I did not require their compensation, for some things cannot be purchased with money, such as the countless days and nights I was overlooked, such as the solitary birthdays I spent, such as the absence of my place in the family portrait during that mid-autumn festival. As December approached and final exams loomed, I immersed myself in the library, studying late into the night. One evening, as I worked on my assignments, my phone rang. It was an unfamiliar number. "Hello? Is this Shen Ning?" The voice on the other end was frantic. "Your father has been in a car accident and is in critical condition at the Central Hospital." I paused for a moment, then asked, "Which father?" The other party was evidently taken aback. "Never mind, I understand." I gathered my belongings and rushed to the hospital. Upon arrival, I found Mother Shen sobbing in the corridor and Shen Jinghuai standing pale at the surgery room door. Spotting me, Mother Shen rushed over. "Ning Ning, your father." "What happened?" I turned to Shen Jinghuai. "He was hit by a truck on his way home from work. The driver fled," he replied, his voice hoarse. I nodded and found a seat to sit down. He seemed enraged by my indifference. "Shen Ning, do you even have a heart?" I raised several fingers. "First, whether he is my father depends on whether he acknowledges it himself. Second, whether I have a heart does not require your judgment. Third, if you genuinely care, be quiet and stop making a scene in the hospital." Just then the doctor emerged. "The patient has lost too much blood. He needs a transfusion." "I'm O-type blood," Shen Jinghuai immediately declared. The doctor shook his head, stating that the patient had Rh-negative blood, which is quite rare, commonly referred to as panda blood. Shen's mother panicked, inquiring, "What shall we do? Does the hospital have a blood bank?" The doctor replied that the stock was insufficient and that family members needed to have their blood tested to see if there was a match. Shen Jinghuai immediately rolled up his sleeve, declaring, "I will be tested first." Shen's mother followed him. I remained seated, motionless. 10 minutes later, the results were revealed. Neither of them had Rh-negative blood. The doctor appeared troubled, explaining, "This complicates matters. We need to urgently source blood. But the fastest it can arrive is in 2 hours." I stood up, and all eyes turned towards me. "I am Rh-negative," I proclaimed, rolling up my sleeve. "Go ahead." After donating 400 milliliters of blood, I began to feel lightheaded. The nurse urged me to rest, but I waved her off, insisting, "I am fine." Shen's mother grasped my hand, tears streaming down her face, murmuring, "Ning Ning, thank you." I withdrew my hand, replying, "It is only right. After all, he had given me life. This 400 milliliters of blood serves as my repayment." When Shen's father was wheeled out of the operating room, he had yet to regain consciousness. The doctor advised that he needed to be monitored for 48 hours. Shen's mother stayed by the hospital bedside while Shen Jinghuai dealt with matters concerning the company. As I prepared to leave, Shen Jinghuai stopped me, asking, "Where are you going?" I replied, "Back to school." "You've just donated blood,"
He protested.
"I am not that delicate," I shot back. He frowned, saying, "Shen Ning, can't you just—" I interrupted, "Can I stay and play the dutiful daughter? Apologies, but I cannot act." "No one is asking you to act," he retorted. "Then what do you want me to do?" I challenged, "Wait by the hospital bedside until he awakens, then have our family of 5 weep together, living happily ever after?" He was rendered speechless. I sighed. Blood relations may allow me to save his life, but they cannot compel me to love him. With that, I turned to leave. Behind me, Shen Jinghuai called out, "Shen Ning, do you truly possess no feelings at all?" I halted but did not turn around. Feelings must be cultivated. Regrettably, you all have not afforded me that opportunity. Shen's father regained consciousness on the 3rd day. While I was in class, I received a message from Shen's mother. "Dad has awakened and wishes to see you." I did not respond. After class, Shen Jinghuai awaited me at the foot of the teaching building. "He genuinely wants to see you," he insisted. I replied. "Shen Ning," he exclaimed, visibly agitated. "He is grateful to you for saving his life and wishes to express his thanks in person." "There is no need for thanks," I said, attempting to bypass him. He seized my arm, demanding, "What do you want?" "I want nothing," I replied, shaking him off. "Shen Jinghuai, could you refrain from disrupting my life? I saved him because I am Rh-negative, not because he is my father. Do you understand?"
How can you say such a thing?
He reacted incredulously. I stared at him impassively. If a random stranger on the street required Rh-negative blood, I would still donate. This is called humanitarianism, not the profound bond of father and daughter. Shen Jinghuai's expression soured. At that moment, my phone rang. It was Shen's father. Shen Jinghuai snatched the phone from my hand, saying, "Dad, it's Jinghuai. I am with Ning Ning." After a brief exchange, he handed the phone back to me. "Hello?" I answered. "Ning Ning." Shen's father's voice was frail.
Thank you.
"There is no need," I replied. "I owe you an apology."
I paused, taken aback.
"We have indeed favored Yao Yao and overlooked you," he admitted, followed by a few coughs. "Father was wrong. Ning Ning, ganyo forgive. After a long silence, I finally spoke. "Mr. Shen, some things once missed cannot be reclaimed. Please focus on your recovery." I hung up the phone. Shen Jinghuai looked at me in disbelief. "He has apologized. What more do you want?" "I want nothing," I reiterated, returning the phone to him. If apologies were effective, what need would there be for the police? On the day the final exams concluded, the mysterious individual who had previously sent me a recording reached out once more. "Shen Yao Yao has been hospitalized. What concern is that of mine?" I replied. "She has truly suffered a heart attack," he informed me. I paused, taken aback. "Her mother is at the hospital, weeping profusely, lamenting her daughter's misfortune." "Her mother?" I reflected, recalling Shen Yao Yao's biological mother. "They are impoverished and unable to afford treatment." He cautiously inquired, "Do you wish to inform the Shen family?" "There is no need. She could die. That is her fate," I stated firmly before ending the call. "I am not a saint, nor will I sympathize with someone who has schemed against me. Even if she were to perish, it is of no consequence to me." I began to pack my belongings, preparing to return home for the winter break. As I dragged my suitcase out of the dormitory, I unexpectedly spotted Shen Jinghuai below. leaning against a car and smoking. Bystanders were covertly capturing his image. I walked past him, not sparing him a glance, and casually remarked, "Smoking in public? Do you fancy yourself impressive?" The man in a tailored suit visibly shifted, extinguishing his cigarette and hastily fanning away the smoke. "Ning Ning, where are you headed?" "Back to Lin Town to celebrate the new year," I replied. "Lin Town?" He appeared taken aback. "Isn't that where your adoptive parents reside?" Without looking back, I asserted, "It is my neighbor's grandmother's home, where I lived until I was 10. She is my true family." That grandmother was the only person who had genuinely cared for me. Prior to turning 10, I spent most of my time there. She taught me to read, to be a good person, and to be strong. Without her, I might have succumbed to the torment inflicted by my adoptive parents long ago. My car was already waiting at the entrance. Shen Jinghuai's vehicle, unfortunately, failed to start, and he could not catch up with me. My hometown is a small county in a neighboring province, and the train journey takes 8 hours. By the time I arrived, it was already deep into the night. My grandmother was still awake, sitting at the door, eagerly waiting for me. "Ning Bao has returned," she exclaimed, her face lighting up with joy. "Grandma," I responded, setting down my luggage and enveloping her in a warm embrace. She had lost considerable weight, and her hair had turned completely white. "You've lost weight," she observed, touching my face. "Haven't you been eating well?" "I have, but studying has been exhausting." "Did you gain admission to a good university?" "Yes, a university." "Wonderful, wonderful." She cheered, pulling me into the house. "I made your favorite braised pork." As I savored that meal, tears streamed down my face, not from emotion, but due to the spiciness. My grandmother, having aged, had a diminished sense of taste and added an abundance of chili. Nevertheless, I finished every bite. That night, I shared a bed with my grandmother as she rambled on about village happenings, which family married off a daughter, which family welcomed a child, and which family's chicken laid double yolk eggs. Though the topics were trivial, I listened intently. This is what life truly is, free from scheming and deceit, simply living in a straightforward manner. "Ning Bao," my grandmother suddenly asked, "were your biological parents good to you?" I hesitated. "Do you know? I saw it on television." She sighed. "The Shen family, a prominent household." "Indeed. Did they treat you well?" I remained silent for a moment, then replied, "They care more for their adopted daughter." My grandmother grasped my hand, saying, "You have suffered, my Ning Bao." "It is not suffering," I countered, holding her hand firmly. "With you here, it is not suffering." Life at home was serene. Each morning, I accompanied my grandmother to the market to buy groceries, cooked lunch, basked in the sun with her in the afternoon, and watched television in the evening. There were no theatrics from Shen Yao Yao, no entanglements with the Shen family, and no worries whatsoever. Until the 28th day of the Lunar New Year, when Shen Jinghuai arrived. He stood at the gate, looking disheveled in his wrinkled suit. "What are you doing here?" I asked in surprise. Breathless and with reddened eyes, he questioned, "Why aren't you returning home for the new year?" "This is my home," I retorted. He surveyed the dilapidated courtyard, frowning. "A place like this," I interjected. "I told you, this is my home." "Shen Ning," he exclaimed, visibly frustrated. "Mom and Dad are waiting for you." "Let them wait," I declared, turning to enter the house. He seized my arm, demanding, "How long do you intend to carry this on?" "I am not causing a scene," I replied, shaking him off. "You have been the ones disturbing me." Just then, my grandmother emerged. "Ning Ning, who is this?" "Grandma," I steadied her. "He is just an unrelated person." Shen Jinghuai's expression darkened. My grandmother looked between us, then remarked, "You must be Ning Ning's brother. Come in and sit for a while." "No need," I interjected. Grandmother insisted, especially during the New Year festivities, that I should not linger outside. Shen Jinghuai followed me into the house. Grandmother poured him a glass of water and then excused herself to prepare a meal, leaving the two of us alone. "This elder is?" "The grandmother who raised me." "Isn't she the neighbor of your adoptive parents?"
Yes.
I gazed at him. "But she feels closer to me than all my relatives combined." He fell silent. "Shen Jinghuai," I remarked, "your family possesses everything, power, wealth, status. Yet, they have never bestowed upon me a sense of home." Here, I surveyed my surroundings. Though dilapidated and modest, there are those who genuinely care for me. Those who truly love me. That is what constitutes a home. He looked at me, his expression intricate. "So, don't come back again." My tone was unprecedentedly sincere. "Can you allow me to enjoy the new year in peace?" In the end, Shen Jinghuai departed. Before he left, he slipped a red envelope into grandmother's hands. claiming it was a small token of goodwill. She refused to accept it, but he firmly pressed it into her grasp and fled. That evening, grandmother opened the envelope, revealing a card and a note. The note read, "This is Ningning's living expenses. The password is her birthday. Please help keep it safe." I was unaware of the amount on the card. However, the next day, grandmother insisted I return the card. "It's not ours. We cannot accept it," she said. I obediently walked to the post office, but didn't send it back. I intended to use this money to support grandmother in her old age. My earlier return to the Shen family was solely to ease grandmother's worries. I had known from the very beginning that I could never truly be accepted by them. On New Year's Eve, grandmother and I made dumplings while watching the Spring Festival Gala. As the clock struck midnight, my phone vibrated incessantly with New Year greetings from roommates, classmates, and even readers. There were messages from the Shen family as well. "Shen mother. Ningning, Happy New Year. I miss you." "Shen father. Happy New Year. Your father is waiting for you to come home." "Shen Jinghuai, Happy New Year." I did not respond to a single one. Grandmother, sitting beside me, remarked, "Is it family? Why don't you reply? It's New Year's after all."
They're not my family.
I tucked my phone away and offered her a dumpling filled with mackerel, which I had personally made. "Grandmother, eat your dumplings." After she went to bed, I unexpectedly received a message from Shen Yaoyao. "You've won." Just those 3 words. I did not reply. In truth, I had neither won nor lost. For from the outset, this was never a competition. The following day, shocking news broke online. Netizens discovered that a young woman who had tragically passed away in a rental due to illness was once the pampered daughter of the Shen family. Concurrently, the Shen family announced their severance of ties with their adoptive daughter Shen Yaoyao, citing her immoral conduct and deceit towards the family. As I read the news, I found it rather ironic. Did they truly believe that Shen Yaoyao's absence would compel me to return? How naive. Indeed, Shen mother soon called. "Ningning, when will you come home?" "I will not return." Hanging up, I resumed my writing. My new story was titled The Way Home, narrating a girl's quest for belonging. However, in the end, she realizes that home is not merely a place, but a feeling. A place filled with love is what constitutes a home. In March, as spring blossomed, my new work became a tremendous success. The editor informed me that multiple film companies were vying for the rights. This time, I did not refuse and sold it to the highest bidder. The 8-figure royalty was sufficient for grandmother and me to enjoy a good life. I planned to bring grandmother to S-City, find a better nursing home for her, and ensure she could enjoy her twilight years. Shen Jinghuai continued to pursue me. Annoyed, I reluctantly agreed to dine with him. We visited a nearby restaurant. After ordering, he inquired, "Are you doing well? When you're absent, I couldn't be better." He smiled wryly. "You're still so straightforward. If I weren't direct, you wouldn't understand." The dishes arrived, and we ate in silence for a while. "Shen Ning." He suddenly spoke, "Over the past 6 months, I've thought a lot." I remained silent, waiting for him to continue. "You were right. We indeed failed to provide you with a sense of home. From the very first day you returned, we focused on the wrong priorities." "What priorities?" "We were so preoccupied with caring for Yao Yao's feelings that we overlooked the fact that you were the one who truly needed love and support. You endured 18 years of hardship outside, only to return home and still have to gauge our moods." I was somewhat surprised he could comprehend this.
I'm sorry,
he said earnestly. I took a sip of water. If apologies were effective, why would we need time machines? He was momentarily taken aback. "Shen Jinghuai," I looked at him. "Do you know what is most ironic?" "What?" "It took you 6 months to realize that Shen Yaoyao was merely acting. Yet I saw through her from day one." I smiled. "That is the distinction between being raised in affluence and in hardship. You were too naive." After finishing our meal, Shen Jinghuai offered to drive me back to school. On the way, he asked, "Are you truly not planning to return to the Shen family?" "I do not plan to. Your parents miss you dearly. They desire a compliant daughter, not me. What they seek is a replacement for Shen Yaoyao. What I yearn for is a genuine home. Our desires diverge. Thus, we are destined to part ways." The car halted at the school entrance. Before I exited, he called after me, "Shen Ning, whether you acknowledge it or not, you are still my sister." I turned back. "Biologically, that is indeed true." "Not just biologically," he insisted earnestly, "you are my true sister." I smiled faintly, said nothing, and turned to enter the school. In April, I received unexpected news. Grandmother was ill. I hurried back to my hometown overnight. She lay in the county hospital, looking frail. Lung cancer, in its advanced stage, the doctor informed me. I felt as if the sky had fallen. I held her hand, tears streaming down my face. Silly child. Why are you crying? She gently patted my head. Everyone has their day. No, grandmother will get better. I have money. We can go to a larger hospital and find the best doctors. Grandmother had lived enough. She took a breath and continued. My greatest pride in this life has been raising you. Watching you enter university, finding your biological parents, I am content. I sobbed, unable to articulate my feelings. Promise me. She tightened her grip on my hand. Live well. Live for yourself. I nodded vigorously. And, she smiled weakly, if the Shen family truly treats you well, forgive them. In life, do not leave regrets. I spent a month in my hometown with grandmother. During this month, the Shen family visited several times. Shen mother brought nutritional supplements. Shen father sought expert consultations, and Shen Jinghuai reserved an entire VIP floor for her treatment. Grandmother was delighted. Ningning's family treats her so well. I did not reveal the truth to her. In early May, grandmother passed away. She departed peacefully, slipping away in her sleep. I organized her funeral. Few attended, mostly elderly villagers. The Shen family all came. Shen Jinghuai supported me, Shen mother wept alongside me, and Shen father sat in a wheelchair, sighing. On the day of the burial, it rained. I knelt before her grave and bowed 3 times. Grandmother, I no longer have a home. The wind blew, as if grandmother were saying, silly child, stand up. After grandmother's passing, I fell ill. I lay in the hospital for 3 days, and upon waking, I saw Shen mother keeping vigil at my bedside. Her eyes were swollen, evidently having cried. You're awake? She exclaimed, grasping my hand. Are you hungry? What would you like to eat? I shook my head. Ningning. She choked back sobs. I'm sorry, mother came too late. I understood her words did not pertain solely to this moment. If only we had found you sooner, you wouldn't have suffered so much. I closed my eyes, wishing to block her out. Ningning, she cautiously asked, can you call me mother? I opened my eyes, meeting her hopeful gaze. I couldn't utter the words. Her tears fell. I'm sorry, I said. No, it's mother who is sorry. She wiped her tears. It's mother who failed to protect you. After my discharge, I vacated the dormitory and rented a quaint little apartment near the school. It consisted of a single room and a living area. Modest, yet it was mine. The Shen family frequently visited, bringing food and necessities. I accepted their gestures without refusal, yet maintained a certain emotional distance. Thus, our relationship existed in a delicate balance of proximity and detachment. In June, as the final examinations approached, I once again secured the top position. To celebrate, Shen Jinghuai invited me to dinner. At the table, he mentioned, my parents wish to host a celebration banquet for you. I responded, no need. Just family, no outsiders. After a brief contemplation, I added, whatever you prefer. That evening, the Shen family prepared a lavish spread of my favorite dishes. I was left wondering how they had discerned my culinary preferences. Shen's father raised a toast to Ningning's outstanding achievement. Everyone raised their glasses, and I took a symbolic sip. Ningning, Shen's mother inquired tentatively, what are your plans for the summer vacation? I replied, writing and earning some money. Why not join us for a holiday? Shen's father suggested, let us go to the seaside for some relaxation. I shook my head. I want to go. An awkward silence enveloped the table. Shen Jinghuai swiftly changed the subject. I heard your news story has become quite popular? It's all right, I said modestly. When can we read it? It's already completed. It's available online. He took out his phone to search and was momentarily stunned. Return journey?
He looked at me.
Yes. He silently read the synopsis, his eyes glistening with unshed tears. It was a tale of a girl in search of home. Ultimately, she discovers that home is not merely blood relations or a physical dwelling, but a place where one is genuinely loved. By the end of August, new students were enrolling. As a senior, I participated in the welcoming activities. Gazing at those youthful faces, I was reminded of my own self a year prior. Back then, I believed that gaining admission to a university would alter my fate. Only now do I realize that fate is not easily changed. While distributing flyers, I suddenly heard someone calling my name. Nink Nink, senor. I turned to see a stranger.
Who are you?
I'm one of your readers, she exclaimed excitedly, 13 Moon. I've read all your works. I was taken aback. How do you know? There are rumors on the school forum, she said mysteriously, that you are the true daughter of the Shen family, as well as an online literary genius. I managed a wry smile, realizing my secret had been exposed.
Senior.
May I take a photo with you? It's not very convenient.
Please.
She pleaded, just one. Reluctantly, I agreed. Soon, word spread, and more people gathered around. It's really 13 Moon. Oh my gosh, a celebrity in our school. Senior, can I get your autograph? I found myself ensconced in a crowd, unable to escape. At that moment, a hand reached through and pulled me aside. Excuse us.
Thank you. It was Shen Jinghuai.
He shielded me as we made our way through the throng, finally reaching the parking lot. Thank you, I gasped for breath. I didn't expect you to be this popular, he said with a smile. It's merely a coincidence. No, it's not, he replied earnestly. You truly deserve it. This semester, I opted for a dual degree, adding literature to my original major. The workload was heavy, yet I relished the bustling feeling it brought. During the National Day holiday, Shen's mother called. Ning Ning, come home for dinner. After a moment of hesitation, I agreed. This would be my first visit to the Shen household since my grandmother passed away. Everything remained unchanged, save for the absence of Shen Yaoyao's belongings. The walls now adorned with my photographs, including one of my acceptance letter from a university. At the dinner table, Shen's mother incessantly served me dishes. You've lost weight. Eat more. Shen's father inquired about my studies. Shen Jinghuai and I exchanged ideas about my new writing project. It was warm and harmonious, if only I could overlook the emotional barriers within me. After dinner, Shen's mother took me upstairs. Ning Ning, I've prepared a room for you. She opened the door to reveal a spacious, bright bedroom, with pink wallpaper, white furniture, and a massive bookshelf filled with books. Do you like it? She asked eagerly. It's quite nice. Then you should move back in. I shook my head. I've grown accustomed to living outside. Her expression dimmed. However, I added, I can occasionally come back to stay for a night. Her face brightened instantly. In November, my third book was published. The publishing house organized a small signing event. To my surprise, the Shen family attended. They occupied the front row, with Shen's father in a wheelchair. After the signing, Shen's mother purchased 20 copies, proclaiming she would gift them to relatives and friends to showcase her daughter's prowess. I felt a bit embarrassed. There's no need to buy so many.
Oh.
But I insist. She persisted. Shen Jinghuai drove me home afterward. On the way, he remarked, my parents have changed a lot. I know. And you, Shen Jinghuai? I gazed out the window. Some wounds cannot be healed merely by words of forgiveness. They require time. I understand, he sighed. We have missed so much. In December, final exams arrived. This time, I placed second. The top scorer was a boy named Liu Bei, a genius in the sciences. Upon learning this, Shen Jinghuai seemed a bit disheartened. How could anyone surpass you? I chuckled. It's natural for there to be others better than me. No. You must reclaim first place next time. Are you my brother or my rival? The word slipped out and we both froze. It was the first time I had initiated calling him brother. His eyes glimmered with emotion. What did you just call me? Nothing, I turned to leave. He grasped my arm. Say it again.
Please.
Reluctantly, I said, brother. He beamed like a fool. That night, he posted on social media. My sister just called me brother. The photo was a candid shot of my back. I contemplated asking him to delete it, but seeing him so pleased, I let it be. Before the spring festival, Shen's mother fell ill and was hospitalized. It wasn't too serious, merely exhaustion from overwork. When I visited her, she held my hand tightly. Ning Ning, I have a request. What is it? This year, could you come home to celebrate the new year? I fell silent. I know you still harbor some resentment, but I genuinely wish to spend the holiday with you, she implored, her eyes filled with hope. Just consider it a way to accompany your mother, all right? Looking at her haggard face softened my heart.
Okay.
Tears of joy welled in her eyes. On New Year's Eve, the Shen household was bustling. Although it was just the four of us, Shen's mother had prepared an elaborate feast. This is Ning Ning's favorite sweet and sour ribs. This is Ning Ning's beloved steamed fish. Each dish she presented was accompanied by the reminder that it was made for me. My nose tinged with emotion. At midnight, we watched the Spring Festival Gala together. Shen's mother dozed off against my shoulder, while Shen's father nodded off. Only Shen Jinghuai remained awake, quietly saying, "Thank you for coming back." I gazed at the television. My grandmother used to say that in life, one should not leave behind regrets. She was a wise woman. I replied softly. Indeed, I affirmed, she taught me what love truly means. As the new semester commenced, I returned to the school dormitory. My roommates were astonished. Weren't you doing well living outside? I wanted to live with you all, I smiled. In truth, I was overwhelmed by loneliness. While living alone offered freedom, the solitude during the quiet hours could be suffocating. The dormitory, though noisy, at least had a sense of community. One day in March, I received a call from an unknown number. Is this Miss Shen? Yes. I am an editor from Huawin Publishing House, and I would like to discuss your new book. Huawin is one of the top publishing houses in the country. After signing the contract, I immediately informed Shen Jinghua. He was even more excited than I was. That's amazing. It's Huawin. It's just all right. What do you mean, just all right? He exclaimed. My sister is truly remarkable. After hanging up, I couldn't help but smile. Unbeknownst to me, I had grown accustomed to his presence. During the Qingming festival in April, I went to pay my respects at my grandmother's grave. The Shen family accompanied me. At the grave, Shen's mother laid down a bouquet and solemnly said, "Thank you for raising Ning Ning. We will take good care of her." Shen's father bowed deeply. Shen Jinghua was more direct, kneeling and bowing 3 times. Grandmother, I am Ning Ning's elder brother. In the past, I failed to protect her, but I shall do so from now on. Tears welled in my eyes. Grandmother, do you see it? They are truly making an effort. Perhaps it is time for me to strive as well. On our way back, I sat beside Shen Jinghua. Brother. I called to him.
Thank you.
For what? Thank you for not giving up on me. He paused for a moment, then smiled. Silly girl, we are family.
Family.
I have savored these 2 words for quite some time. Perhaps it is time to let go. 5 years later, I graduated from graduate school, and simultaneously, my 5th book topped the bestseller list. On the day of the graduation ceremony, the entire Shen family was present. Father Shen had completely recovered and appeared quite spirited. Mother Shen embraced me, tears streaming down her face. My Ning Ning has succeeded. Shen Jinghua boasted proudly. Look, that is my sister. Ning Ning. Mother Shen raised her glass. There is something I wish to say. Please go ahead. I am sorry, she said, her eyes brimming with tears, and thank you for giving us a chance. I clinked my glass with hers. Mom, what has passed is past. That word, Mom, felt utterly natural as it rolled off my tongue. She paused for a few seconds, then wept even more fiercely. Father Shen's eyes also glistened with tears. Shen Jinghua teased. Sister, call me again. Brother. Louder. Elder brother. Ha ha ha, splendid. I gazed at them, warmth flooding my heart. It turns out this is the feeling of family. Imperfect, marked by hurt and misunderstanding. Yet ultimately, we became family.
True family.
Outside, fireworks erupted. Dazzling and resplendent. I recalled grandmother's words. Ning Ning, in this lifetime, one must learn to forgive and also to accept love. Grandmother, I have succeeded. I finally have a home. The end. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and give a thumbs up to support.
Until we meet again in the next story.